In this episode, we will talk about heroes. Quite frankly, I relate to this so much because at the end of the day, we are all humans capable of these feats, no matter how small or big our heroism is. We all grew up with heroes, whether it's fictional or real ones in our daily lives. Here, we will compare two nearly identical, heroes? Heroes? Really? Are they heroes? I mean, aren't we supposed to inject an inkling of doubt towards heroic icons? Because we must. We should, okay? Two characters. There. Welcome back to Gundam Technology. Let's get into it. Roll the credits. On the eve of my consciousness, I became familiar with cartoons. I still remember the most vivid one I have watched fully. I was 3 and it was a Saturday morning cartoon with a cute unicorn. A color pink, iridescent, magical being that I was hyperfixated on. I think that was the moment that got me into the world of cartoons, hook, line, and sinker. I didn't get the chance to get out of it up until the upload of this video, and I'm still at it. Do you know the usual? You've got Batman, Wonder Woman, Storm, Wolverine, Jean Grey, and Superman among others. Usual daily animated series that just did not make any sense to me. Back then, they weren't the rage that much, and I just didn't get why my cousins watched Baywatch or X-Men, and why they were so stoked by it. I don't know, saving the day? There's just so much of it in school. I spent my days playing Barbie, or some random action figure that my cousin Ryan had. What opened the floodgates for me about heroes were, surprisingly, boy bands. Let me tell you why. Well, indirectly, it was the Power Rangers first, and then came Gundam Wing. But in all honesty, it was Gundam Wing that really got me hooked. To be fair, both of them had a dynamic quintet of different strokes of people banding together to save the day. Not. And as the tradition in boy bands, nothing lasts forever. I mean it. Even Chojin Sentai Jetman broke up in the end because Black Condor died. Like a true hero. Hence, we look at the titular Gundam Boy Band in Gundam Wing. It is still my favorite up to this day. Aesthetically, it reminds me of my childhood. And let me tell you, those rose-colored glasses of nostalgia do not wear out. First, we've got Heero Yuy, the ideological band leader. Or is he? Is he not basically just an edgelord? It's the 90s. Then you've got Duel Maxwell, the charismatic guy with a scythe. You do not want to mess with him. Changwoo Fei, the indifferent philosophical one. Quattro winner, the nice guy everyone loves except for that one time. And Troa Barton, the sympathetic quiet guy who can tame a lion with his gentleness. No, really, he can. That last one is the only true description of this band of boys. By the way, can I just say, Duel Maxwell is my OG bias. I just want to share my life with him platonically. Yep, just growing old together in a cottage somewhere in Romania. Or Bahrain, maybe Belgium. Just drinking tea and eating cookies all our lives unbothered. Not much, right? Just like the Backstreet Boys, these boys were sizzling hot. And I don't just mean their bodies, their good looks and their charisma. They're a bunch of hotheads too. See what I did there? Remember that time that Kevin from Backstreet Boys left? That's kind of the same thing with Changwoo Fei. It's just an endless waltz, am I right? But, okay, let's focus here on the leader. Heero Yuy. He was the ideological leader in the sense that he would either sacrifice himself for the mission, or someone random in his left gets it instead of him. He did this quite a few times already by operating 2 mentally draining mobile suits, which are the Mercurius and the Apion. This catapulted the war even worse, because today's Kush took data from his movesets. Both are drenched in red paint, which reflects our hero's intent. War. It fits that he is called the Red One by some. He would do anything to throw chaos. He blew the Wing Gundam mobile suit twice for some random reason of wreaking havoc. He also stole Duel Maxwell's Gundam parts to reassemble Wing Gundam. He's just overly fixated on the identity of a bunch of men who pressured him as the hero. Now, moving on. The fact of the matter is, this Heero was a sore loser. He quote-unquote, sacrificed himself for distraction in Siberia. But come on, he just did not want to lose his ex-Marquis and his Tallgeese. He planned to blow everyone up, even his friends. He was a way to throw a Barton as well, as he used Troy's Gundam heavy arms to get another round of fighting Tallgeese, which he won. Roll the credits, it's over. Except, nope. Then there's Relena. Relena, her supposed love interest, was concerned about Heero and revealed that Zex is his brother, with the name Miliardo Peacecraft. Miliardo, translated in Italian, means 1 billion, so technically his enemy is the crafter of peace for 1 billion times? Heero did not beat Tallgeese twice because of his fragile ego. He just thought of himself as a heartless weapon despite not realizing that he is a casualty of war himself. This continued when he was manipulated by today's Kishirinada, the main antagonist of Gundam Wing, to kill all of the pacifists and OZ rulers in 2 planes, at the same time having plans to have a diplomatic discussion and talks of an alliance in the 2 parties. Those are all the leaders of humanity in the story. They were in the 2 planes. Yikes. This went on to space, where Heero was forced to work with OZ, aka Gundam Wing Zeon, alongside Troy to design 2 mobile suits, the Mercurius and Seiei. This is where it got interesting, because this data helped Rey's weaponize OZ, or the Organization of the Zodiac. He made 2 other mobile suits that served as gasoline to further incinerate the war. The war he and Heero worsened. It worsened up to the point where Contra winner, ultra nice guy, his father gets killed in their hands, which led to the invention of the Zero system, wherein Contra drove himself in a murderous rampage before surrendering it to Heero, the only one who can control the mobile suit. This all ends with Heero realizing that he screwed up big time. He regains his humanity and tries to compensate for it. Therese gets killed by Wu Fei with honor. Because he wanted a friend, he respects that he has to beat him fair and square in the war. Like, what? And Heero finally beating Zex Marquis and Epion, his former Gundam, thanks to his team fighting the rest of the OZ army, with him facing his masked enemy with a clear target. However, Heero did the only singular heroic thing he did during this war. This is sparing Zex Marquis' life after beating him for the sake of his sister, Relena Peacecraft. This all led to temporary peace, and Heero wrecking all the mobile suits they had, again, with the help of Duo Maxwell. Except for the Altron Gundam serving as a contingency plan in case another war emerges. This peace was immediately interrupted by Merimaya Kishirinada, Trace's illegitimate daughter, leading the New World Order. This is when Chang Wu Fei sided with his friend's daughter, and not with his Project Meteor teammates. In effect, Heero Yuy came back to his old destructive self and almost murdered tons of people in an indestructible bunker, which includes the kidnapped Relena Peacecraft inside. The enemy conceded because Heero just kept shooting at the indestructible bunker. He almost kills everyone before the surrender. Thank goodness he had control of his anger for once, but his mobile suit suffered for it, leaving the Zero Gundam in shambles. That's right, he destroyed it again. On the other hand, Setsuna F Seiei is the lead protagonist of Gundam 00. War defined his growth as a human being. He was surrounded by it just like Heero Yuy was. No one decided for him to become a weapon, unlike Heero. Setsuna's real name is Soran Ibrahim. He is from the Middle East and was a child of war. Having this background, he and Celestial Being had the same murderous intent as the Gundam Wing Boys. The only difference is, Setsuna was not fully heartless. He knew the recurring effects of war and was changed by it. He became a more composed pilot after the death of Lockon Stratus, his Celestial Being co-pilot. In grief, he was changed and was forced to defeat everyone in his way without murdering them. On the awakening of the Trailblazer, Setsuna gets defeated by the extraterrestrial living metal shapeshifters, or ELS for short, and was just barely saved by his friend Tieria. Tieria helped finish Gundam Contra. It was humanity's last straw of hope from the ELS vanquishing everything in the solar system. The last beacon of defense as we know it. Thankfully, Contra and Setsuna delivered. Setsuna's yearning for peace made them united with the ELS. This drove a golden age of unity between the ELS and humanity. Unlike Heero, Setsuna had a will to team up with his teammates and grieved people's death instead of celebrating it laughingly like a sociopath. This person felt the war and knew his responsibility as a human. This says a lot about Setsuna's growth as a character, unlike Heero, who's just an uncontrollable hissy fit. I mean, sure, you will enjoy the battle scenes in Gundam Wing, but if you watch it carefully, you will see that Gundam 00 is the better series. That, and it still does not take away my fascination with the Gundam Wing series because it tells us that Sunrise has matured through time in Gundam storytelling. With the novel Gundam Wing Frozen Teardrop, I wonder when the manga or anime version drops. I hope there's an announcement soon. Awakening of the Trail Laser ends with an Einstein quote, and it still sends chills down my spine every time I think of it. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. This marks the end of our character review. Speaking of characters, we made a Quizlet which can guide you on the mobile suit vehicle that is perfect for you. You heard that right, a mobile suit quiz titled, Which Mobile Suit Vehicle Will You Pilot in the Gundam Series? In the meantime, check out our latest video to know what mobile suit will fit your character. So stay tuned and see you all in the next video. Stay connected, stay up to date.